So, in our previous video on control and coordination, we have seen the classification of nervous system and classified them into central and peripheral nervous system. And let's concentrate on to the nervous system, central nervous system, where what is the function of brain and spinal cord. So, take my pen. What's this? I got a burn. But how fast I have taken my hands off from this flame. Oh, why is it so fast? It was just like a spontaneous movement. And what is this called as? A reflex action. When you accidentally touch a hot object like this, or when you step into a pin, you suddenly will flinch back your part. Maybe my hand from this hot object or my leg from that pin. Why this is so fast? Am I thinking I have to remove my hand? Is the brain going and telling like I am touching it? Then a stimulus going to brain and taking time to think, okay, you have to remove your hand. Is it something like that? Think, if it was like that, what would happen? I would have already formed a burn in my hand. So, such actions which are so fast, so spontaneous movements, which are not under control of our brain, are called as reflex actions. So, reflex actions are spontaneous actions that take place without thinking. We won't think to flinch our hand from a hot object, to take our leg from a pin. So this sort of actions are called as reflex actions, and mostly they are spontaneous, fast, and takes place without any thinking. So without any thinking means without the help of brain. Then the other part, which is the processing unit other than brain, is our spinal cord. So reflex actions are controlled by the spinal cord. And let me consider my burn. I was like, it was my hand. Okay, it's having skin, which is my sense organ, which senses hot or cold and all other changes in environment. So it was a burning candle, and I touched it. And what happened? A response by the help of nerves moved from these receptors of the skin to the spinal cord. And here it integrated with another neuron and it went back to my hand muscles. It was from the skin and it went back to my muscles to ask them to take my hand off. So this pathway is called as reflex arc. Where what really happened? When I touched the candle burn, I got a small sensation of temperature in my skin, and this was taken by some nerves, and this taking nerves from the receptor is called as afferent nerves. Those nerves which take the impulses from the sense organ towards spinal cord. And the spinal cord have integrated its neurons to the another set of nerves, and these nerves are afferent nerves. which goes from spinal cord and carries information to muscle or either glands and asks my muscle to withdraw. So this arc is called as reflex arc, and this action is called as reflex action, which is carried by the spinal cord. Really, reflex action is very much important for a human body. Why? Because if you are infected with an accident like this, like a temperature increase, like touching a hot object, or like a pin pricking my hands, in such emergency situations, if the nerves were taking into brain and we used to think and take a decision like we withdraw my hand, it may take some time, and with this fraction of seconds we may get a bigger accident, like we may get a big burn or we may get a big deeper punch, but usually it won't happen. Whenever we touch a hot object, whenever there is a pin and we are touching a sharp object, we will withdraw immediately, and this immediate action will reduce the intensity of that accident. So, reflex action reduce the intensity of accident. And we have seen what a reflex action is, why is it important, and how a reflex action is carried out. It is with the help of two sets of nerves, the afferent nerves carrying the impulses or the changes from the skin or any of the sense organ to the spinal cord, and the efferent which is coming from the spinal cord to the muscles and giving us the response. And the father of reflex action is Paolo. You may have known the Ivano Paolo experiment with the help of dog. You have studied in younger classes, and he is considered as the father of reflex action.